Okay, thank you everyone and welcome to our new Digital Marketing Malaga and Geo on the Beach Together event. My name is Sánchez. I'm one of the organizers of the Geo on the Beach event and Digital Marketing Malaga meetup with Alexandra and with Pablo, who because of general illness that everybody is suffering is not coming here. Okay. Today we are going to introduce a very special topic, which is employer branding. We have three speakers from three tech companies based in Malaga. And the first thing that I would like to know is, well, I would like to explain you a bit, well, maybe you know it or maybe you don't, is what's employer branding about. And it is really about reputation, okay? And nowadays, with the pandemic and the current situation, companies must attract talent, and the reputation of the companies will tell, candidates whether it's worth it to work in a company like that or not. Okay, so the reputation from companies in the end, it's not only external, so it's not about how to attract the people and how companies can look like for candidates, but also must be internal. Okay, must be about the employees, the ones that must be part of how the company look like and the culture of the company. Okay, and also some key stakeholders. It could be board members, things like that. And nowadays, people in companies, there are more roles that are in charge of this specific task. Before it was more about recruiters or maybe HR, the people that were in charge of it. But nowadays I think that even the speakers that we are having here that have like a more management role or even marketing people also take a big part of what is the employer branding. Okay. I'm sharing with you a graph from Stack Overflow. We are going to focus in this event on tech companies, okay? Because practically tech companies, the tech sector is probably the hardest one at the time of attracting and retaining the talent, okay? And if you see this graph, you will see that like practically 75% of employees in companies are open to look for another job, okay? It is true that maybe 20% are actively seeking, but if you see this graph, 54%, they are not seeking, but well, they will check if the offer is attractive, okay? In terms of the perks that companies are offering, I have listed here a lot of perks that you can see, and today we publish a blog post about what tech companies are doing at the time of offering typical perks for employees. And it has evolved a lot, especially during pandemic. I think that nowadays we are having more and more perks than it was like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I think I have seen the pattern that it has changed, that before tech companies, they used to provide probably private health insurance, maybe some fruit in the office, and maybe parking as an extra, a bit of flexibility. But nowadays they go far beyond offering even mental health services for their employees, or stipends for remote working equipment, or even especially startups, they need to be even more attractive than corporates, and they need to offer like phantom shares or stocks so they can get good talent. Okay, but this is a general image of what tech companies are offering. And today I'm going to stop talking because I'm not the expert in this matter. I'm going to leave the topic for the experts. We have Alex Lopez, the CTO from Plitix, Antonio Teruel, Nono, which is Technology Director at Accenture Malaga, and Ievgen Berezenko, who is the head of EPAM Spain, which is located here in Malaga. And I'm going to give the microphone to Ievgen, and I hope you enjoy it. So the way we are going to organize the different talks is going to be 10 minutes talk with the presentation of each speaker. Then we will have 5 minutes Q&A, okay, so you can ask short questions. Then next speaker, another 5 minutes. That's it's going to be for the 3 talks. And then after that, we will go for a deeper conversation and a round table with all the speakers, okay? So give an applause to Ievgen, please.
Hi, everyone. Do we have any more engineers in the room? Engineers, anyone? Whew, I'm not alone. Thank goodness. I thought there'll be all marketing people and employer branding, but I'm safe now. Right, you can probably see some of it, technical issues, but you can just be looking at me and I can answer all of your questions. Guys, I'm an engineer who started some years ago, and I've been working in IT pretty much all my life. I've done some engineering. I do some management now because that's also cool and fun stuff, and that drives me. But I think I've worked enough in different countries, in different projects with different clients and with all the different people that I can probably talk a little bit about employer branding. Just let's make sure you won't see anything related to marketing, talent acquisition, HR there. I'm not that kind of person yet. Okay, so EPAM. Just a few facts for those of you who don't know what EPAM is, because we are pretty much a new player here. Relatively unknown, I would say. So we've been recognized for 3 consecutive years as the fastest growing IT services company by Fortune. So it's one of the biggest recognitions that I'm pretty much proud of. And the latest is we went into S&P 500 index. We're now a part of the technological companies index in the US, which is kind of big to me. Fast facts, you will probably not be able to read the slide on this screen. I'm deeply sorry for that. But basically, we're huge. We are growing kind of 3 billion revenue last year, well, close to that, probably exceeding that this year, and a lot of different industries, and a lot of different engineering people, talented people, and non-engineering people included, working in the company, working to make it a success. Present in 40 different regions and countries. That's truly global. And what strikes me as the thing which has probably the reason why I've been working for the company, cooperating with the company in various roles for almost 12 years now, is the number of opportunities it provides in all the different areas. I've listed only a few. There's probably more there, but it ranges from traditional software engineering to all of the cool and sexy IoT, embedded, big data stuff. Some of it is completely non-IT, right? We have some non-IT colleagues who are establishing themselves fairly well in the company. We've been named, as by LinkedIn, we've been named Best Culture of Learning Talent. We've been nominated for the award. And our DNA is actually engineering. It's not consulting that we also do now. It's not experience, design, whatever. It's actually engineering. So deep inside, we're all engineers, including our CEO, actually. And our culture is that of continuous learning. That's probably one of the reasons why people find it pretty cool to work for EPAM and to stay with EPAM. The benefits. Some years ago, I would have said, come join us, we have cookies in the office. Now no one works from the office anymore. Well, I do, but I'm kind of special in that. So it's a pretty hefty, pretty traditional set of benefits with some of the cool stuff that is perhaps unique to a company of our size, which is over 50,000 employees, and that is EPAM Anywhere, which is pretty much a remote work board for people who could be external to the company, who could, freely move like between being company employee, contracting, etc., etc. That's already available in 15 countries, and that is being expanded further globally. We've got tons of cool stuff which I probably won't list all of, but I've personally participated in a lot of those opportunities. I found, learning opportunities with EPAM, training opportunities to become a trainer with EPAM, to be some of the most rewarding in my career, in my life so far. Mentoring, volunteering stuff, a lot of corporate social responsibility, or ESG, environmental social governance, as it's currently called, and so on and so forth. And yes, we do have cookies in the office, just in case. we're experimenting with different ways to engage with our candidates, with different ways to attract them, to retain them. There's tons of cool stuff that we do, but just 5 examples that I would like to highlight. During the pandemic, it's been hard to get people, physically together in a single space. That's why we've done drive-in conferences in some of the countries, which have proved pretty efficient. We do a lot of media activity those days, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Spotify, as it turns out. I wasn't aware of this one, so it's totally new to me as well. And we've been recording a lot of videos that we've been placing on different resources, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, about what we do, a lot of podcasts, IT coffee, and all that jazz. And there is a number of pretty much targeted videos for particular skill sets, for particular segments, of the market, of our target audience. And the stuff that I wanted to cover maybe in a little bit less detail, but I would still want to focus on this because this is what I do now, right? This is my current role, being head of EPAM Spain. I'm responsible for the growth, for the development of this market, of our people, of our offices. So first off, we are the most international location that EPAM has so far, and probably that a lot of companies out there have. We've got more than 45 nationalities represented in EPAM office in Málaga, and we get more, like almost every day. We've got 550 colleagues working there right now, and we are growing with a recent acquisition of a company in Madrid that is called Optiva Media. They specialize in audio, video, streaming, content, etc. That's going to be additional 200-ish EPAMers joining us in that location. We're an international company, and we encourage mobility between different locations within the company. I myself am an example of that because I've worked in 4 different countries with EPAM. I've worked in many different roles, and it's always been, the challenge, the drive to learn something new, the drive to move and embrace the new culture, the new language. And I'm sorry, my Spanish is not yet advanced, but I'm learning, I'm getting there. So we've got tons of people who are embracing this culture, this engineering DNA and this culture, and who move between different locations in EPAM, thus enriching other locations with their expertise, with their business domain knowledge, with their skills. Again, I'm probably not the best example of exactly engineering talent, but I still do some engineering somewhere in the backyard. But we've got tons of people who are doing that every day, who are sharing their experience as the conference speakers, who are sharing their experience on tech talks, online these days, but some of them in person, and so on and so forth. And something we've been running for many years in different countries, in different geographies, that's our, I would say, renowned, if they were as well known here, that's our academy programs. So we give back a lot to the society through a number of corporate social responsibility or ESG programs, but we do a lot of stuff related to education, in particular to education of more junior IT people, in particular to education of kids, the basics of IT, in particular of education of people who are disadvantaged for whatever reasons, like they don't have access to education, they don't have access to training courses, whatever. One of the programs we started here in Málaga, basically this month, is our Java Junior program, which basically allows pretty much anyone to walk in from the street, to learn the basics of Java language through the help of our qualified instructors with a course that has been prepared and has been already run in dozens of different countries for hundreds of different groups in EPAM and outside EPAM, and to benefit from it, to embrace the world of IT, to change the life, to change the world, pretty much. I'm here to answer your remaining questions. I haven't actually prepared more slides, although I've had like 30 slides from my marketing people, which I had to cut down to fit into the 10-minute slot. Again, I may not be an expert in each and every discipline here, but I've got some great colleagues who came over here with me. So in case if I have deeply technical questions, Volker could help out. For HR, Stefania would, and for TA related, we've got Rodion, and they're all there to back me up. So thanks, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
I'm sorry if I missed this. Sorry if I missed this. What's EPAM Anywhere?
Yeah.
What's that program?
Yeah, so that's basically an opportunity to engage with EPAM through a form of employment other than permanent employment, right? So there is like limitless opportunities, and the way we rolled it out initially was as a sort of a club or as a sort of a hobby community, which allows you pretty much any IT professional out there in the supported countries to convert their free time into dollars, gaining experience and sharing experience within a broader community. And now it's been rolled out on a much broader scale, so it's pretty much, well, I guess you could relate this to a freelance board, where you get some tasks, you complete the tasks, you get the buck for the work, but you also get to engage and interact within a much broader community. And there'll be different forms of engagement. There are already some countries where it's contractually possible from the legal framework point of view to engage in many different formats, and we are looking towards rolling this further in many more countries in many more different formats.
Thank you.
My pleasure. That's, just to clarify, that's on top of the regular remote working, work from home, and all the perks associated with it. Yeah.
Hi. I'm curious to know companies with some engineers as yourself. Do you know what were the main reasons to come to Málaga?
Yeah, I can talk about myself, but I can also talk about engineers. So Málaga is a sunny place with great welcoming people, with great local cuisine, with great culture, and with great, I think, ambience of the location. So to me, it's all of those combined that have made Málaga home for already 550 EPAMers, and we're growing as we speak, pretty much.
And was it a specific reason someone knew the place, or you were contacted by some local authorities, or?
You mean?
What was the key point for the company to look into?
Okay, I'm sorry, Jose. I didn't quite recognize that it was about EPAM. Yeah. So company-wide, I think it's been a company initiative because we're talking to different investment bodies in different countries. For instance, I've been cooperating with Invest in Pomerania, back in Poland, which is a region of Poland. Here I know we've been cooperating with Invest in Spain prior to making this decision to open up offices. But to me, again, there is an old framework, an old model where we've been attached to the physical office, to having all the bulky, I would say, infrastructure around this. Now, after the start of COVID, we've managed to virtualize the majority of our workforce in pretty much 2 weeks. So everyone was working remotely worldwide, in less than that in most countries. So my view is that going further, Spain is a great example. We're already established here, but to enter any new country, it doesn't take as much effort. It doesn't take effort to establish a legal entity, to roll out a framework of cooperation that will work in a new country. But here, yeah, that's the history.
Please, do we have time for another question? Or?
No. Last question.
One question, you grew to 550 people here, and you barely mentioned the Spanish and Malaga. How did you achieve that? And what's the nationality split?
Yeah, maybe I've misheard the start of the question. We moved 550 people to Malaga, yeah?
No, how did you achieve the growth?
Okay. Yeah, so I could talk in technical terms. We've got a great talent acquisition team headed by that guy over there. In non-technical terms, yeah. So the way we've grown and the way EPAM has developed historically, we've had the majority of our engineering workforce, let's say that, we had us pretty much, because I also come from Eastern Europe, right? We've been sitting there in the likes of Ukraine, Russia, Belarus. Now that we've been expanding to many countries, there is a lot of people, again, including myself, who've had an aspiration to come and work in a different country, in a different setup. Speaking about Málaga in particular, to me, it's a magnet that attracts specialists from pretty much all over the world. I've met people, I believe, almost from every part of the world here already in my 5th month here. just because of how nice a location it is, how friendly the people are, how cool it is to live by the sea. So to me, it's not as much as, how do we manage to build it up? How do we manage to relocate that many people? It's like sometimes even having to say no to people who would like to move, but for whatever reason, they don't match the needs and expectations of the business. That's not all of those people are relocated. So there is a number of people whom we've relocated, like including myself, Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, etc., etc. But there's also quite a number of local people in the office, and that number and that proportion is actually growing, because I strongly believe in, yes, we can definitely seed the location with some talent. We can definitely bring in some competencies, or maybe some industry experience, some business experience that's not present in the location. But the kind of the backbone and the staple of the location, it should still be, local, talented people, and that's one of the reasons why we've launched Java Academy, and why we'll be launching more educational programs available, for free to pretty much anyone based in Spain, and we do that in almost every country where we're based now, but on a different scale, in order to attract more talented local professionals to the company. And of course, we're active in the local market as an employer. That's a given.
All right, thank you so much. Just another round of applause for Ievgen, please.
Thank you.